Let's get to Formula One then, and F1 team principals were invited to meet Prime Minister Rishi Sunak today. Let's cross live to 10 Downing Street now and join our reporter Craig Slater, who can tell us more about what took place. Craig, what happened there today then?
Yeah, well, a little bit of a bucket list thing for me to be reporting from 10 Downing Street. Nice to do that. A bit of a wave to the kids from Moorlands Primary School in Huddersfield, who are also visiting 10 Downing Street today. Before those VIP guests, we had the 7 British-based Formula One team principals, so Christian Horner, Toto Wolff, etc., and the president of Formula One, Stefano Domenicali, meeting with Lucy Fraser, who is the DCMS Minister, the Minister for Sport, and also, as well, Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary. And amongst the things they discussed today were work permits, interestingly, as I understand it, for the teams to be able to bring in expertise from overseas. They also talked about some of the effects of Brexit being difficult, so they want ways to move their goods around Europe from the 7 British factories. Also on the agenda, internal combustion engines versus electrical propulsion for automobiles. Formula One still a series which burns fuel. They want to burn sustainable fuels, of course, and they think keeping that development area open is going to be an important thing for the environment, full stop, because the airline industry, agricultural machinery, they cannot operate under electrical propulsion. But of course the British Grand Prix is coming up this week. There is concern amongst Formula One that there could be a protest, as there was last year. So when I spoke to Stefano Domenicali and Toto Wolff, I asked them what message they would have for anyone thinking about protesting at the race this weekend.
Well, that's pretty clear. I mean, we are not here to dispute any different opinion on the things, but, you know, to do things that is getting dangerous and basically destroy an event that there are a lot of 100,000 people coming, I think this is totally wrong. And I think there are a way of showing, you know, what you want to do, but this is totally unacceptable. So we really hope that people understand that that is not the place where you want to find the right space. That is pretty clear to me.
I think from our side, one needs to understand that our industry is trailblazing in sustainability. We're having sustainable fuels. In 2026 it will be 100% sustainable fuel. And the technology and innovation of Formula One is important to achieve those emission standards. And like Stefano said, our cars driving 200 miles an hour down the street, you're putting yourself in danger, and also the pilots. And I can speak for our drivers, for George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. They wouldn't want to have anybody being at risk, spectators, fans, or themselves. So that is not a, you know, that is not the place to actually take big risks. You're not blocking anybody, but you're seriously putting people at harm.
Yeah, and our industry is really front line to make sure that this awareness of sustainability versus the future is there. So we are really engaged in that.
Yes, and especially in the days after there was a tragedy on track in Spa and a young racer lost his life. Formula One does not want to be in a scenario where someone else could put their life in jeopardy by straying onto a racetrack. Toto Wolff mentioned Lewis Hamilton there, amongst other things. Still to sign an extended contract with Mercedes. We understand it's close. There's no particular obstacles in place to that happening, but maybe the way Lewis operates these days, the number of initiatives he has for good causes, societal good causes and so on, is making this new deal and longer-term association with Mercedes in terms of the contract a little bit more difficult to get done quickly. What about, I asked Toto Wolff, and it's interesting to hear Stefano Domenicali chip in on this, what about after racing? Given Lewis's concerns, and we have to remember he is Sir Lewis Hamilton, of course, what about maybe a career in politics for the 7 times world champion?
Lewis Hamilton is clearly the most important personality in our sport. He's so multidimensional. He's not only the racing driver and world champion, but he's trailblazing for diversity, for sustainability, and there is no limits for Lewis Hamilton as a racing driver, as an entrepreneur, as a politician. I think he's one of the most spectacular personalities and characters that I have ever met.
And you want him to sign Lewis up for a good few more years?
I would say more short term. I would love to see Lewis still fighting on the track, but I agree with Toto that he's incredible personalities. He has shown that he's raised up the bar of interest on a lot of topics, but for the short term, I would say Toto, make sure that he's running with a good F1 car.
We owe him an 8th championship.